Oh, finally, my Magikarp is evolving. Oh, hold up, I've got a phone call. Sorry, Magikarp, you aren't evolving today. But I said no, what's even happening? So yeah, this video I decided to get some Pokemon and deny them evolution like the monster I am.
No. No.
But secretly, I have hidden 7 new evolutions only accessible by denying such things. Magikarp no longer gets strong, and Inkay has something real weird happen to it, but you'll have to stick around till the end for that one. How about you comment down below who I should give one of these cancelled evolutions to next, and I may do it in another video. Alright, let's start with a weird one in Slowpoke. Now, Slowpoke's dex entry says that if the shell ever gets removed, they revert back to a Slowpoke, which is kind of wild. But what if the shelled a bit down and you cancelled it so they're kind of just sort of halfway on there? I want to make this almost proto-Slowbro design, almost feeling like a mid-stage for it, but with its own spin to it. Not fully upright yet, but not fully on all fours. They got that sort of dinosaur build to them. And they even have sharper claws. It kind of literally is just the halfway through evolution here. Shoulder is the big aspect for our Slowvo here, though. It is just starting to elongate, keeping aspects from both shoulder and butt shoulder design. I wanted it to feel a bit more dangerous, as this shoulder is feisty and sassy, wildly flailing about and working a bit like a weapon for Slowvo to use. I'd be mad too if I got cancelled halfway through evolving. I can just imagine an animation where the shoulder gets mad at Slowvo for walking the wrong way, so it just bops it on the head a few times. I really should make a video about shoulder biting onto other Pokemon at some point, because there really is just so much potential there. Slowvo, the bludgeon Pokemon, a Water and Psychic type. Slowpoke evolves into Slowvo when their regular evolution is cancelled. A shoulder that doesn't fully integrate onto a Slowpoke causes them to evolve into Slowvo. Every movement could cause them to separate and become a Slowpoke and shoulder again. The shell attached to the tail is wild and swings itself about to try and break and smash everything around it. This causes Slowvo to teeter about and get easily dizzy and confused, more so than any other of the family. Slowvo have the abilities Oblivious and Reckless. Alright, now time for a more out there one in Snowball. I went in kind of a weird direction for this one, completely ditching the tree and Yeti sort of angle. Just threw it out the window. Out it goes, by Yeti, by tree. Instead, I thought it'd be funnier to keep the Snova sort of feel, but elongate it. Like if it was about to start sprouting all the Abomasnow fur all over, but didn't quite reach that far. A long Snova made me think of a winter radish, a daikon radish if you will. So why not turn them into a super slick ninja radish? I told you it was very out there, but this one kind of turned out awesome, because imagine you're just chilling out in a snowfield and, you know, like how Greavet and Houndstone are, they leap out of the ground with just their candles showing. And at first Daikonin does the same, appearing as the top of a head of a radish peeking out of the ground. Then bam, ninja radish. The top of Snova's head kind of has the sort of rice hat for Daikonin, and it all just came together really perfectly, especially with the fun little design all over this guy. It would make a great ace for an ice ninja gym leader, methinks. Daikonin, the radish Pokemon, a grass and ice type. Snova evolves into Daikonin when their regular evolution is cancelled. Living around mountains permanently covered in snowstorms, Daikonin love the element of surprise, using their sharp leaf blades to cleave enemies in two. Daikonin hide by burying themselves in the ground with just their eyes showing. Sometimes the hungry Pokemon will uproot Daikonin and will be punished for such a rude behavior. Daikonin have the ability Snow Cloak and Snow Warning. Okay, speaking of elongation, let's not take that out of context. Let's stop Magikarp from ever achieving their potential. Yay! So the leap from Magikarp to Gyarados is huge, a big change in design and personality. So when we cancel the evolution, we have the dopiness of Magikarp with the grumpiness of Gyarados, all combined together into this weird package. The idea here is that our cancelled evolution is still a bit of a girl fail and keeps a bit of the Magikarp charm, but they've also taken on the hardiness of Gyarados, which has led to them becoming heavier in steel type and is now based off fishing sinkers and lures in a way as well. My idea was their whole body could rotate independently around in different sections to swim, and also just be able to sink to the bottom of the ocean. The sinking feeling of depression knowing you can never become the beloved Gyarados. But in saying that, this one has its own charm, feeling much like a sort of tropey old man with a blunt couple of teeth it has and just a grumpy expression, but it's still cute in its own way. Would you take this Inkay instead of Gyarados? I'm genuinely curious. Inkay, the Rotator Pokemon, are Steel and Water type. Magikarp evolves into Inkay when their regular evolution is cancelled. The sudden growth and weight increase from their hardened scales makes Inkay have some trouble staying afloat. It hunts by dropping itself onto Basculin and crushing them. Each segment of their bodies rotates independently. By spinning them, they can swim at a medium pace. This strange maneuver attracts other Pokemon, usually hungry, larger Pokemon. Inkay has a new ability called Sinker, where this Pokemon is immune to the secondary effects of foes' water-type moves. So in terms of evolutions that were made for this concept, it's Inkay. And flipping the console to evolve it is kind of wild, but now it's cancelled midway through. Uh-oh. Okay, so cancelling the evolution leads poor Inkay to not be upright or upside down. No, they are sideways. Or in this case, squideways. I chose a deep sea squid for this evolution, with its main gimmick being that in its sideways state, they use their patterns to appear scarier than they are. I actually did this around the time I did another Inkay evolution. I guess I was just feeling takoyaki that day. I kind of love how this one turned out, feeling a bit more monstrous than say Malamar. I can just see it hopping about and trying its hardest to be as scary as possible to other Pokemon. I did think that maybe giving a dragon type instead made sense here, but also it's only pretending to be a dragon type, not actually achieving it. So in the end I kept Dark Psychic, as it's just kind of an iconic typing. Never change, you line of evil squids. Never change. Squideways, the sideways Pokemon, a Dark and Psychic type. Inkay evolves into Squideways when their regular evolution is cancelled. Squideways' body can only face a certain direction, and thus have adapted a draconic look to their patterns, and by combining that with their tentacles, they scare other Pokemon to give it a wide berth. It knows that humans aren't fooled by their disguise, so they'll quickly bound away. And if that doesn't work, employ psychic powers to make them go away. Squideways have the abilities Intimidate and Contrary. How about we do Flaffy next, another big change. Well, now instead of it becoming a shaved baldy like myself, Flaffy takes on a new purpose in that of having the golden fleece, the Greek myth of the golden flying ram. Our dear Barbios here isn't flying type though. Instead I opted to take a little bit from Goldengo here and make them electric steel type. Well, you know, the steel type from Goldengo, not the electric type. Almost looking like a golden version of Mega Ampharos. I wanted to take those little nodule bumps that the line has and turn them into some honestly very slick looking ram horns. And I actually added more fleece to their design. I know I've betrayed all my bold brethren out there. Honestly, it's kind of funny thinking that in this midway evolution, Fluffy is growing more fleece, and that if you let it continue to go, suddenly it just bursts all off when it becomes Ampharos. I think this is a pretty cool design, and would kind of work well as a mega for Fluffy if that was, you know, possible. Barbios, the steel wool Pokemon, a steel and electric type. Fluffy evolves into Barbios when their regular evolution is cancelled. The energy from evolution becomes stored within Fluffy's wool, hardening it and becoming almost gold-like. These strands also allow electricity to course within. Many have tried to take Barbios' gold fleece, but not many are prepared for the deluge of electricity that arcs when they are angry. Only a trusted trainer can cut their wool, and even then a strong tool is needed for the job. Barbios has the ability Static and Good as Gold. Oh, you know it's Apple and Evo time. You can always rely on me to make an Apple and Evo. This time it's for Apple evolving into one of my favorite Pokemon, Appleton. But when you don't finish an apple pie, it gets a bit goopy and, well, maybe it's even a little bit rotten. So yeah, the idea here was that instead of becoming a cutie, the Evo here comes out a bit wrong, taking on the form of a classic mimic. And by classic, I mean if a mimic could become an apple pie that looks like a slice has been taken out of it, and hasn't been properly baked too well either. I thought this design was honestly kind of genius. It still has the makings of a dragon, using the sort of crisscross crust of Appleton to be a stand-in for little fake wings and a tail. And the apple bits are actually teeth for the weird inside mouth. You know, the chunks of apple you find in apple pies. This thing would be pretty small and really snappy, jumping around and biting at your ankles like a little jerk. Alright, I have to toot my own horn here, but the name Appleganger is really good. Even though it doesn't really mean anything, it's like doppelganger and apple. Yeah, I just really like the mouthfeel it makes when I say it. All right, let's stop this and have a nice slice of apple pie. Ow, that's the wrong one. Appleganger, the ruined pie Pokemon, a dark and dragon type. Applin evolves into Appleganger when their evolution into Appleton is cancelled. Appleganger gives off a sickeningly sweet scent that attracts small insect Pokemon that it will snap into its maw. Their strange adaptation allows them to curl up and appear as a relatively unfinished piece of food. If their disguise fails, it turns into a ball of gnashing teeth, trying to bite whatever gets close to it. The skin of Appleganger is said to taste disgusting and even poisonous. Appleganger have the abilities Poison Touch and Liquid Ooze. Okay, so final of the video is Nincada, but how does this one even work? Cicada Centaur. Yep, it's time for another Centaur Pokemon to go with Brute Bonnet. It's a Centaur, look at it. So the idea here is that Ninjask is kind of, I guess, rising out of the Shedinja shed shell to become two separate beings, and, you know, then you cancel it. Stuck together, the Shedinja now becomes a new body and legs for Senkada here, and the Ninjask is the head and top body. I really like Nincada's eyes, so I wanted to keep them in a way for Senkada here, keeping it feeling very much like a combo of the line while also looking a little bit off. And I guess, you know, it makes sense, it's a Centaur Cicada. Like, you can tell it's a bit of a patchwork of different shed and unshed parts coming together, but it also has some sick Scolipede vibes to it as well, and hell, you can now race these two together. I swear one day I'm going to make a video that is just making a bunch of Centaur evolutions for Pokemon, and honestly, I don't care how messed up and hideous they turn out to be. Centaur Pikachu, anyone? A Halloween video incoming, maybe. Senkada, the Burst Out Pokemon, a bug and ground type. Nincada evolves into Senkada when their regular evolution is cancelled. Despite losing their ability to fly, Senkada can still run incredibly fast on their forelegs. Walls are no obstacle either, as they use their sharp claws to run up most surfaces with ease. In some regions, Senkada are abundant and used as transport, and are found to be very kind and careful to their riders, attempting to make the ride as smooth as possible. This has also led to a shortage in Ninjask. Senkada have the ability Speed Boost and Shed Skin. I really loved doing these cancelled evolutions. They're silly, but yeah, they all just turned out really cool. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to chuck it a like, subscribe, and share the video around, and drop a comment. And if you really loved it and want to support me more, consider becoming a member. Alrighty, I'm off to stop some more Pokemon from achieving their full potential. I'm just that evil. I'll see you in the next video.